Systematic mill installations by Logan Keating for operations management. The introduction. Systematic mill installations is based in Kelowna, BC, and they are an engineering and construction firm. They focus on operational performance planning, forecasting, as well as quality control. Systematic mill installations overview. Systematic serves mining, forestry, energy, and manufacturing sectors. They are part of a Canadian industrial construction that is a multi-billion-dollar market. They're growth driven by automation and sustainability. Challenges that Systematic faces are things such as labor shortages, costs, and different regulations. So for the map that I drew out for Systematic, it begins with a client and a need for a service. After that, our company will come up with a plan as well as a design for the service that is needed. The next step will be plan and engineering. First thing will be to look at the plan and to go ahead with the plan. The next thing will be to make sure the plan looks okay and then begin the engineers on engineering the project. Next, choosing the construction team and plan that will be able to get out there and get this job completed. Whether this means we need to hire outside sources to do it, or whether or not we have enough in-house employees ready to go for this job will be a big determining factor here. Next, purchasing the materials for the project plan. This will be looking at what type of materials we'll need and making the proper purchase on each material. Then the logistics sides come in. First thing we need to do to look at the logistics of what tools and workers will we need, as well as what safety gear goes along with all of this. Next, how are we going to pick up the materials for the job that we're going to need, as well as how are we going to ship them to the site. Then there will be a plan design to be able to get all tools, materials, equipment, as well as all employees to the location of the job. Construction. This is where the first bottleneck comes in. That's very easy to see. Getting the tools and materials to site where the work is done. Because there's a time needed to be able to get the tools and materials together to get to the site. That probably takes the longest out of all the things that we need to do, is be able to gather all the resources that we're actually going to need to complete this project. Then we need to make sure everything gets on site and is well and in working order, as well as after that, possible training of tools, as well as just going over what exactly needs to be done more in depth with every worker. Then construction can begin. Now for the completion stage, finishing the project, then ensuring it's good work, everything works fine, and the customer is happy. Then gathering all the tools, excess materials, and sending them home, or deciding what exactly we want to do with them. And then to finish it off, ensuring all workers get home safe. That's those 5 forces. The political. Workplace and environment regulations. This is what sort of the governments come up to make sure we're up to safety standards. Next, economical. Material and labor costs, and with all the economical changes, dealing with so many things such as steel, mining, all that different things, the price quite fluently changes, as well as technology, automation, and planning software are very much relevant in day-to-day usages, and making sure that is fitting exactly what we need. The 5 forces that we deal with. High rivalry and buyer power. Lots of different rivals in this industry, as well as the buyers have a lot of power, as they can sort of pick and choose whether or not they like the cost. Next one, moderate entry barriers. These mean it takes, especially getting customers, first-time customers is somewhat difficult. So being able to get first-time customers and enter the field, as well as high supplier leverage. Suppliers have a very big leverage as lots of materials that are needed are not commonly carried, as they have a better power to sort of pick and choose what prices are paid. Success factors and driving forces. Key success factors for systematic: skilled workforce, safety, and project management. Ensuring everything is done safely, making sure our work is done well, and the project management is done flawlessly and everyone knows exactly what's going on at exactly what stage. Supplier reliability is another big one, making sure that when we are buying products, we can rely on where we're getting them from. Client trust as well, making sure that all different clients we have are sort of trusting and we're able to go ahead and take their words for what they say. The next thing, technology. Being able to rely on technology, whether it's different tools or whether it's our engineered software program. Driving forces. Automations, regulations, and sustainability are very important factors, as well as labor shortages and supply distributions. These are key factors in this industry. Company profile. Competitors that we deal with here at Systematic: PCL, Bird Construction, and other regional firms. These might consist of just engineering firms or just construction firms, but we're always competing with different firms. The edge: precision, our compliance, as well as our reach. We are very well known within BC and Alberta, as well as with our jobs all around North America and Ontario, having many connections with lots of different distribution channels around North America helps our reach. Location planning. Because we are located in Kelowna, BC, it's very central in British Columbia, because we have Vancouver just a few hours away, as well as Alberta is not too far away either. Yes, we are a little lower down from some of the areas we work in, such as Prince George, Williams Lake, as well as even higher up in North British Columbia, as well as North Alberta. However, because we are in such a central area, we are able to easily get materials as well as tools and attract employees as well as engineers. It's a very attractive lifestyle to want to live in British Columbia. Demand forecasting. Some risks are inconsistency, short-term bias, and lack of CRM tools. Inconsistency can come in many different ways. This can come in ways of product delays, such as a piece of steel, as well as worker delays, such as not enough workforce and having to outside source labor. Some recommendations: weighted moving average and CRM integrated forecasting systems. This would all help Systematic in sort of the consistency. Capacity planning. Some limits here that we face are labor and tool overlaps, meaning that we might need a specialized tool, however it is in a different job site because their job was slowed down or whatnot, meaning that we do not have access to the tool right away. The biggest thing, however, weather delays. Weather delays are key, as if it is harsh weather, we are not able to work. Some areas we work in are extremely cold, and there are different regulations on what we can do in the cold, as well as some parts of the year get extremely hot. And with all the different materials we use and the welding and all that different processes, there are certain regulations on when we can and cannot do some projects, so weather is a very key factor. Quality management. Being sure lots of field inspections are being done, whether that's through engineers as well as project managers, ensuring they go through every step, making sure they like exactly what they see. And client feedback is a very key factor, making sure the client's happy with what they're getting. Another thing, strong safety culture, making sure that we have no safety concerns while on the job is one of the biggest and most things we like to take care of, because being known as a safe company to work for in such a industry that's filled full of injuries and whatnot is very important. Some recommendations: ISO 9001 implications, standardized checklist, and dashboards for defects, rework, and safety. So whenever there's, material that's damaged, tool that's damaged, something like that, safety operations that aren't right, making sure this is all reported. Operations planning strategy. So for operations planning strategy, creating a strong level of strategic for the core staff, making sure that there's a few project managers and a few engineers that are in control of every site and know exactly what's going on top to bottom for day-to-day construction, as well as the pre-planning phase, to ensure that there's always somebody that can answer the questions and they are in full knowledge of exactly what's going on. Master schedules, making sure these are 3 to 6 months rolling view, and this will help gather tools as well as production items from other sites as well as from our location here in Kelowna to make sure that they are able to be out on site and ready to be used exactly when we need it to ensure that the job will be done on time. So some smart recommendations here for systematic: CRM forecasting, and this would improve accuracy by 30%. In this industry, it's quite common to be late and or early on projects, and this just is not a good way industry-wide to go about things, to not have a great idea of exactly when things are going to be done. Improving our accuracy by 30% would be very beneficial to not only ourselves but to our clients. RFID tracking. Tools are a big thing in this industry, very expensive, and lots of them are damaged as well as lost. And if we were able to cut this percentage down by 50%, it would help save our company tons and tons of money, as we would not have to buy new tools, we would not have to spend time looking for tools. It would be just extremely beneficial if we had a better idea of exactly where our tools were and how to track them. So as for the conclusion, systematic has a strong foundation and needs formula systems to grow, cut costs, and continue to grow and lead in the Western Canada industry of the construction and engineering. Systematic is a very good company. However, there are still many things that can be introduced as well as bettered to be able to allow the company to grow and achieve new heights.